We're going to catch you up now on February. We're already in the middle of March. Like literally, we're almost at the 15th here. Mm-hmm. So we want to play a little bit of catch up and tell you what's been happening since our last video. Now, the last video we talked about some people getting engaged. Congrats to Matt and Mallory and SJ and Noah. So excited for you guys. But let's jump into February. My brain is so full of things. To start with this, I think we have to go back to, we've already mentioned this on our Substack. Haven't released any video in detail on this except for to tell you a little bit. On our last video, I did show a little bit of Wesley pinning a few people.
Mm-hmm. So that continued. Basically, we're trying to explain why we haven't packed a lot on the weekends when we have the time to do that. Because the weeks, I really thought we'd have more time in the evenings or use the time in the evenings that way.
We're tired and we crash.
We're exhausted. So we kept going, okay, well, obviously weekends, like we can do that. This weekend, yes, I've already, my brain, I know what I'm going to do.
I am exhausted. It's been a long day, and this is even with breaks taken, but I'm shot. I'm filthy. My face is dirty, but this was a productive day. I feel like I got a lot accomplished, and so I'm real excited for this middle of March push to finally get into the garage and make some headway. So much yet still to be done, but this lets me know that it's doable, and in 2 weeks, we'll be moving all of these things that we're keeping into our storage unit. That'll be nice. So just kind of getting things in the place where we can do that. Some of the stuff going to the kids that still want something, and a lot of things going to be sold or Goodwill, and I'm gonna go clean up. This has been a day. See ya.
The weekends before this have been busy in a good way.
Yeah.
Lots of it has been wrestling, which have had some good successes for Wesley and just really fun experiences for us to get to watch.
Right.
Weeknights too. We've done a couple weeknights through that.
So as far as wrestling went, Wesley and Union Pines High School. Union Pines High School actually won states as far as the duels. So we were top in the state of North Carolina. So Union Pines 6A. As a 6A high school.
Yes, 6A.
They came in number 1 in the state for 6A.
Which is cool. As a team.
Yeah, as a team. And Wesley won his match, which was phenomenal, by the way. He slammed the dude 4 times in one match. He was on fire. And so that was a win for Union Pines for the 6A North Carolina. Also, in wrestling, they have individual meets where they will have an entire tournament dedicated to individual weight classes. And so Wesley wrestled at 190 for the state of North Carolina for 6A. And on North Carolina, it's divided between East and West. Mm-hmm. Wesley won first in Eastern Division North Carolina 6A wrestling. Mm-hmm. Because of that, he got to go to states and wrestle for the state. Mm-hmm. And he won his first match.
Let's wrestle! It's okay! Hey, knee high! Knee high! Left knee high, brother! Left knee high!
Good job, Wes.
He lost his second, and the guy that he lost to, Wesley actually beat him in the individual for the Eastern side. So they just kind of were even, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. But I mean, that was a great wrestler. He
was a great
got
wrestler.
Injured. And I'm not saying Wesley didn't earn his win. I'm just saying it was a tight run.
Yeah.
So for states individual, that was a 2-day event in Greensboro, which is an hour and a half away from here.
Yeah.
So that was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday.
So that was a lot. Like we were on the road. It was fun, but it's an all-day, into the night event. Lots of wrestling. We got to watch really good wrestling matches. So hard. Like it's different when you get to state level because every single match is difficult. Like it is such a hard match between two very talented wrestlers at all the weight classes. So that was a whole bit of time that was spent on that. Gladly so, but like that explains some of the like time consumption part of it.
So Wesley came in fourth for the state as a whole, wrestling up to the 190 weight class. The whole season, he's been between 175 to 170, 180. So he's been wrestling up the entire season.
He's a beast.
Yeah. And so what's interesting is even though the season's done, this is just a character trait for Wesley. This past week, he's actually been going to the wrestling mats and helping one of the other wrestlers get ready to go to nationals. So
super cool.
Wesley's just a cool dude.
Yeah. Okay, so that took up some weekends.
Yes,
and
it
some
did.
weeknight. Like it, I hate to say took up. It was like super fun. It's just like what we wanted to do instead of packing, because like, of course.
Okay, what else has happened in February? Right before right before we went to states and all this stuff.
Early February.
Yeah.
Or we started February.
Right. We came off of a snowstorm. So we're getting snow in North Carolina. It is all over you.
Is it?
Yeah. So it's cold.
We gotta get used to it. You never know.
That's right. So in the last video I showed how we got snow, and it was supposed to be a 3-inch ice and it turned into maybe an inch. Well, we had plans, and so the very beginning of February we were going to fly to Salt Lake City and hang out with Jon and Emily. And what's really funny is the night or the day before we're going to be going to Salt Lake, we get a snowstorm here.
It was real.
It was snow.
So we got a good snowstorm last night, and we don't get a lot of snow like this in North Carolina. But it sure is pretty. Looks like they've done a plow through here. We only get snow like this maybe every couple decades in Moore County, North Carolina. This is the second one I've seen since I've lived here, going back to '97. Herschel is absolutely fascinated with this stuff, and we got almost 8 inches, I believe, so not something we normally get here in North Carolina, at least not this part of North Carolina.
So we got on our flight, uneventful. We had no problems on the roads. Okay, so we're back at the airport, and this is a little bit different environment. Last time we were here, it was not snow on the ground like we're seeing here today, but we're getting ready to go to Salt Lake City and see Jon and Emily, and then on the way we're going to stop in Denver and see SJ and Noah. So here goes. Made it there safely, flew in, and it was actually warmer there than it was here.
Super crazy.
So they're missing the snow at that time, and we're under snow here. And it was actually, I think, 50s and 60s when we were there the whole time.
Nice,
Perfect weather.
Not for them, because like I know they want to go play, and that took all the fun out. Like when the snow's gone, they don't get to go do their snow stuff. But we decided on that trip because it was a week.
Yeah.
That it would be a working trip. So they wouldn't take off, we wouldn't take off, we'd all work, but just be able to be together. You know, like I really found a lot of value in that, because there's vacationing where you're go, or it's so intentional on an experience of some sort, but the being is what we've missed out on a lot with them, because we just haven't lived close. So that was something that just was so important and valuable to me, and it turned out so great just to gather in the evenings after everyone's put their laptops away or come home from work and eat dinner and just hang out.
I got to cook a few times for them.
Yeah, that was good. And then we ended up getting to, before we went out, they said, how about we go down to St. George?
Yeah.
The weekend before y'all leave, we're all off, let's do it. And so we got to actually have a little weekend getaway with them. We got to go to Zion. There will be, I'm sure you're putting in
Oh, yes, for sure.
photos and pictures. It was such a nice time. It was nice to be with them. It was nice to just relax and giggle and learn more about each other in the real. I don't know. It was a very nice trip.
And we got to enjoy Jonathan's cousin Luke joining us.
That was
and
fun.
Those two are a dynamic duo. We had so many good laughs just with their banter. They're hilarious.
It was fun for Emily and us to get to giggle about stuff too. That, like, I don't know. We have this little, I don't know, what would you call it? This banter that's not necessarily always right up front, where somebody will say something which triggers a joke or a like middle school humor thing, and I'll look at her to see if she caught it, and she's looking at me to see if I got it. I'm like, all right, moving on. We heard that, right? Okay. So that was a lot of fun.
It was.
It was cute.
And St. George also got added to our list of places because of our visit there. First, it's a lovely community.
It's adorable.
It's also pretty close to a number of things that we're interested in. Going down to Zion really was revolutionary for us. One of the most beautiful national parks I have ever been to.
That, and again, this is the thing where we just trip into just stupid luck.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about what's happening here, Trish.
We're in Zion, right?
Yeah.
And we'll probably tromp around some more like we did at the last place. Have a little snack. This is gorgeous. This is February and I'm completely shook. It's so gorgeous. That time of year, you never know, right? Like, so the crowds aren't bad.
Right.
But it just so happened that the weather was gorgeous, I think.
The temperature was nice.
We weren't having to battle weather conditions on the road. We were close to Zion. We went in. We didn't have to wait in line to get in or get a ticket to get in. You just drove on. Mm-hmm. We got to walk to the Narrows. It was incredible. Like, again, we just trip into this thing that just like things work out. It just, what an experience. That was gorgeous. I wasn't ready for it. I kept looking at Brian while we were walking to the Narrows. I'm like, I'm never going to get over this. I'm never going to get over this. It was just gorgeous. If there's no way to describe it, you have to go do it. You just have to go be there and experience the beauty and grandeur.
So this is us in Zion. And it's kind of breathtaking, literally. That's why I'm having trouble breathing. But anyway, it's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, it's reflecting that wall. That's cool.
Now, even though Jon and Emily and Luke did not get to go snowboarding that weekend, the weather was nice enough that they got to go mountain biking.
Oh, yeah.
And so we went to a really cool place, not too far from St. George, that was called Guacamole Mesa. And while they went and rode bikes with the dogs, we stayed behind with their littlest. And we just kind of got to walk around. Now, this was so much fun because Luke was telling us as we're pulling into this area, he said, I've heard that you can find fossilized wood. And so we're like on the hunt for fossilized wood. And it's so funny because as we're scouring the ground, trying to find a piece of fossilized wood, what do we discover?
It's everywhere. It's like, because the first little bit we found, we were like, could this be it? I don't know. It sort of looks like wood, but it feels like a rock. I think this could be, I think we found one.
Right.
Then we get like 15 feet away, and it's like an entire tree of it was just, we're like, oh, that's definitely it. So,
and it's literally everywhere you look and walk around, we find fossilized wood
it
there.
was so cool. We saw prairie dogs. Was that what it was that had the
Yes.
little, like we tromped all over that mesa. We really did
We
get
did.
some steps in. So there, and of course your whole view is complete gorgeousness. You're on this flat space where the whole view around you is just grandeur. So we're tromping around, avoiding cactuses and picking up fossilized wood. And we decided to go what we thought would be an edge of something. We're like, we'll just go till it runs out.
Right.
There was a bit of a trail, so it felt like the right thing to do. So we were coming through this trail. There's like almost like a washout space where sand has kind of washed across the path. And we see these tiny little, just masses, hundreds of tiny little footprints. You could tell that was their path too, coming across our path. And I'm like, is that just like a mini deer? What is this? What is this? And we kept seeing it, and we went all the way to the edge of where we couldn't go anymore because there was fencing and we were probably trespassing maybe. So we turned around and came back, and as we're coming back near that crossover, we see prairie dogs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. These little prairie dogs were crossing, and one stood up when it saw us and was like, I don't know, it was so cool. I wasn't expecting that. But then when we went back to that space where they're crossing, as you see, all their little starts of their tunnels, like they burrow
burrows, yeah.
down under these bigger trees that
Which creates shade on top of this mesa, which
they
is
had a whole entire
stunning.
community. Like
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand it till we had come back through and understood what it was. Their whole community was right there. It was
Right.
really neat.
It was really lovely there. It was a fantastic day.
Mm-hmm.
And Trish, try not to fall in.
6 feet away from the edge, and I'm shaking. Ooh.
So this is where Luke and Jon and Emmy are out riding their mountain bikes. I wanted to capture a little bit of Trish and I, and yeah, look at you, so tall. This is not too far from Zion, and just absolutely lovely spot. So she and I have been walking. I kind of spin around here so you can see a little bit of what's behind us. I'll let you in the picture because you're so cute. There we go. So anyway, Trish, thoughts about this adventure with Jon and Emily and Luke. It's been kind of a neat experience. This is probably one of the coolest rides. They're actually out mountain biking, and Trish and I are
Talking about looking at rocks.
yes, they're
Big
like
rocks, big rocks, and then little bitty rocks on the ground.
and where we're at, there's a lot of wood that's petrified. That's the coolest thing ever, and just it's absolutely lovely up here. We're on top of a mesa, so that's why it looks so flat. Literally is. And
It is February, and it is the
I'm
most
in short sleeve
perfect
shirt.
weather. It's so perfect.
So this is not yet our adventures, but it's our adventures. This is how we do life, and it's absolutely wonderful. So what are we doing in February? We're in the middle of nowhere, enjoying ourselves and just taking in everything that's around us. It's absolutely lovely here.
Everything Utah is gorgeous.
It truly is. It's a different kind of gorgeous, but we really enjoy it. So just wanted to bring you along for a little bit of our adventure. And this is Kinsey.
She's so tiny.
The other two dogs, Jon and Emily's dogs, are on the run as they're on the bike ride with Jon and Emily and Luke. So anyway, we're heading back to the truck now.
Those dogs are like,
Hello.
hey girl, how was it?
She found some water.
So much joy.
Oh, sorry.
How was it?
It was good. 10 miles felt like 100.
Okay, I don't know if you can tell, but that is a line stretched across. And right in here is a guy just jumping on this thing. Free.
Oh my gosh. Sorry.
And it's kind of freaking Trish out a little bit, but that is pretty wild. So it is pretty crazy.
He's standing.
Yeah, he's bouncing on it.
He's going to fall.
He is bouncing intentionally. To give you an idea, that is suspended over. Let me get a little bit closer. That's literally nothing. And that line is over all of this expanse of nothing, and the guy's just jumping on it like a trampoline. And Trish is having a hard time with this.
So again, St. George is one of the places we're looking at staying. That will be in the next destination in our spring travel. So when you're looking at all of those places we're going, so I think probably St. George will be after Tucson, Arizona.
That's what we're thinking, just because we were thinking the spring. Is it shoulder season when it's the spring too, or is it just shoulder as you're moving to winter?
I think it's on both sides.
Okay, well that would make sense.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
so
like that demonstration.
So moving into spring, we want to be in that area because I would like very much to see more national park.
Oh yes.
That was so great.
Okay, so we did the trip with Jon and Emily. Also, Jon and Emily took us to
That sushi.
yes, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was the best sushi I have ever had, hands down. And
I think that's a great new tradition. Anytime we land in Salt Lake, the first place we go, sort of like our breakfast tacos in San Antonio,
yes,
I think the sushi needs to just be its tradition now.
It was
basically.
amazing.
We have to do that.
what else had happened in February? Besides wrestling, besides Jon and Emily?
Booking.
Yeah.
Which requires a lot of communication.
Right.
So you took care of Cincinnati, found a super cool place. We booked everything except one through Airbnb.
Yes.
Everything, we know what our limits are, we know our have-tos, our we can move on it, and our must, like, that's a hard no.
Right.
So that was easy going in. It's just like you gotta find first what you want within your price range to make sure it's got the things we really want a washer dryer. Like we found that's,
Yes.
it's not a vacation, like we're gonna need to live. And we're not gonna have a whole lot of, we're not carrying our whole closet, so we need to be able to turn over and get our clothes washed. So washer dryer is preferable. Wi-Fi is absolute, period.
Yeah.
We have to have internet connection and a good one.
We also want to be able to cook our food and have a place for storing that. And we can have minimal, but at the
Yeah.
same time, we do need facilities to be able to cook.
Right, just like the basics at least.
And with us and a dog,
It
we're
has to be pet friendly.
it has to be pet friendly, and also we're looking for places where we can really be ourselves in a space. We don't necessarily want to invade somebody's house and share living area. So we're looking for isolated spots,
Right.
and so that's really been important.
Entire place is what it's called.
Yeah.
You can rent a room or suite or an entire place. So we look for entire place, pet friendly, our budget, Wi-Fi, washer dryer. We can live with the kitchenette if it's saving us some money. We can figure it out. especially in the summer because we eat a lot of just less cooked food.
But you still need to have a way to keep it cold and
Right.
So,
And then once we found, this has been my process anyway. So you'll like some of those that work within the absolutes on Airbnb, and then you start mapping them to make sure they're not scary. You look at reviews. That's another one. I'm not even going to heart something that's got a lot of recent reviews. I'm not bothering with it. I just can't. I can't deal with it. So that's how we start. We keep narrowing down. And then, another thing is cancellation.
mm-hmm.
That we ran into that just one time, just one location, where we find exactly what we want, or many of exactly what we want, but then it's like you only have, like, you make the reservation, but then you have to cancel within 48 hours of making the reservation to receive any refund, and you're paying up front. So it's like, shoot, like, we really don't know what life holds. We're not trying to change our locations. However, we usually know about a month out. We should know whether, we're going to definitely be there at least some portion of that time. So that's what we ran into with some of them. So that's another thing we're looking for, is a cancellation window that runs out to about a month out from when we're arriving.
Yep.
So those are the things we looked for. You booked Knoxville.
We got Knoxville. We got
You
Cincinnati.
got Cincinnati.
You got St. Louis.
Yeah, that was a different story we'll talk about.
I still have not nailed down Oklahoma City yet.
Or
Denver.
Summer.
Yeah.
We've gotten St. Louis. San Antonio for the week we're there, and we also have booked our few days in Indianapolis this summer.
Yeah.
So that we had a lot of booking, which again, all the parameters. So St. Louis, we've done Airbnb for everything, but we were really running into St. Louis. It's not that we couldn't find what we want, and we certainly could have made do with whatever. Like, we're pretty flexible otherwise. But we kept running into the same kind of thing with St. Louis, where I'm like, maybe I'll do some more research about Furnished Finders.
And about that time is when we had the conversation with Luke, who did a lot of Furnished Finders.
Oh, and my friend out in Albuquerque.
Right.
She had used it, and she brought that up without me asking, because I had reached out to her because I was going to go there, because she's a contract nurse. That's what Furnished Finders typically is for. And she brought it up. She's like, really, that's been great for me. So I did a little more research on how to really have the best experience with Furnished Finder. And instead of finding individual places you like, which this is where we started, like at Airbnb, you find individual places you like, then you request availability, then you request a booking, and there's all this taking it offline and figuring out it's a landlord situation, blah, blah, blah. And they may not even be available during your dates. It just felt like a lot of individual efforts. So I found out that you can put in a housing request where you're letting the people of the area know who you are, what you're doing, when you're there, what you need, what you're able to bend on, what your budget is. And then you just put that out to the Furnished Finder world. So all of these landlords then can see that. It's like a board. And then they reach out to you.
Right.
And they say, hey, I think what I've got's going to be exactly what you want. So that actually worked out beautifully. I tried it. I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. I even sent the link to our YouTube channel, really told them our story, what we're doing, what we're looking for. And the response was incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of information up front in your request really was attractive to a lot of folks. They were like, oh, I feel like, I'm like, you can get to know us. Seriously, this isn't a joke. Like, we're really doing this. It sounds weird, but like, this is what we're doing. Here's what you can get to know about us. What you got? Right. So many people reached out conversationally. Not only were they like, here's our place. We would love to host you. This is in this kind of part of the city. This is what's around it. We think with the vibe you're looking for, this is a great part of the city. Like, they were selling it. But then I got so many people that, like, they weren't mad if I didn't choose their place. They were like, oh my gosh, you're going to love it. Like, you can still have our list of things to do from our hosting. Right. Like, don't forget to check out. Everyone was so nice. It's like we made actual human connections of people who are there and love and know their city. So it's just like, 10 times better. And we found the exact place we wanted on Furnished Finder. She reached out to me, the landlord, and we got, like, we're talking to people. Like, we did a phone call with her. We got everything set up. Just a perfect experience. And I think that we may try that again in other places.
Oh, for sure.
It was definitely what I, so far, at least for St. Louis, that was our jam. Like, you're getting to a human connection. You're getting tips on the areas of the city. I don't know. I loved it. It worked out great. Of course, first time, like, we're just blindly, let's try this. And it just worked out so good.
I think people are really longing for reality, real people, and human connection. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that as in they don't have it where they're at. But when you're dealing with your property, your house, the notion of just putting it out to whomever with no idea who they are, by having a bit of a story that we bring to the table, it really opens up the door for people to be interested in engaging and working with us.
Mm-hmm. Another thing about putting a request in is when a renter or landlord or whatever they're called, a host, I'm sorry, when the host approaches you about your request, you may have seen their property on Furnished Finders before, and maybe you flipped by it because it's out of our budget, or it says no pets, or what was another thing? There's no reviews. I don't really want to be your first person to experience, and maybe we're not the first people to rent from them, but we don't know what the history is like. I like reviews because something can look great on paper and be a nightmare when you get there. But the thing is a lot of the hosts, that's what they do. And so when someone approaches you who may not have a rating on Furnished Finder yet, they can say, hey, check out my ratings on another platform. You can see, or I've done this with these 3 other properties for 3 years on Furnished Finder that you may not have known to look at. And you can see the reviews for the host on the other properties to get a better feel for like how they run that thing.
Right.
So again, a super plus. Also, people were like, hey, we can work with you on the price. I see that your budget is, we're above your budget, but let's talk. I'm willing to come down on that. I would have never, we would have never known to ask for that necessarily. We would have first gone with someone who was just automatically in our budget. Yeah. So that worked out fantastically.
It did.
Is that dumb luck again?
I think things just work out for us.
They do.
All right, so we've covered a lot, and I'm going to cut it here because what I want to do is we're going to try to cover March, which is wrapping up pretty soon. We'll do a catch up on all the things that's happened in the month of March. But anyway, things are moving along, and we're excited about where this is going to go next. And so next time we catch you up, we'll hopefully show you a clean garage, cleared out closets.
So optimistic.
Yeah, I know.
We may not have a table for our setup by the next time, because if we can go ahead and move the furniture we're going to keep, most of it, like, we could probably move it into storage. The the big rocks theory, right? You put the big stuff in first and move all the little rocks and sand in between the nooks and crannies. So maybe that's what we'll do.
That's the plan.
All right.
All right. Till next time. We'll see you guys.
Bye.